That faint dripping sound you hear behind the drywall? That's not something you can ignore. A lot of people think it's just a little water. But I'm here to tell you, a small leak is a ticking time bomb for your home. Water is the #1 enemy of any house. It doesn't matter if it's a flood or a tiny, persistent drip from an old zinc pipe. The damage it causes over time can be massive. We're talking about structural rot, compromised electrical systems, and a perfect breeding ground for mold. You have to act fast, because by the time you see that water stain on your wall, the problem has already been growing for a while. Let's talk about mold. This isn't just an ugly black spot on your wall, it's a serious health hazard. Mold releases spores into the air you and your family breathe every single day. This can lead to allergies, respiratory problems, and other long-term health issues. For me, a healthy home is a safe home, and you can't have one without the other. That little leak is feeding a hidden colony of mold, silently compromising your indoor air quality. Stopping the source of the water is the first and most critical step in making it right. Alright, so you know you have a leak. Now you need to become a water detective. The water stain is your first clue, but it's not always the exact location of the leak. Water can travel along pipes and studs. Start by looking for the highest point of the stain. Gravity is your guide. The leak is almost always at or above that high water mark. Gently press on the drywall around the stained area. If it feels soft, if it feels damp, if it feels spongy, you might have to cut a small exploratory hole. Make a clean cut. Once you've pinpointed the area, prepare for the repair. Gather tools. Bucket, utility knife, drywall saw, adjustable pipe wrench, slip joint pliers, protective gear, safety glasses, work gloves. Now the repair materials, example of a corroded zinc or galvanized pipe, epoxy putty. You'll want some pipe repair epoxy putty. This stuff is amazing. You knead it together, and it hardens like steel. Also, grab a roll of self-fusing silicone repair tape. This tape stretches and bonds to itself. Having both on hand gives you options depending on the size and shape of the leak. Don't forget some old rags or towels for cleanup because things can get a little messy. Before you even think about cutting the wall or touching that pipe, you have to do the most important thing: turn off the water. Find and turn off the main water shut-off valve. It's usually in the basement, a utility closet, or near your water meter. Once it's off, open the lowest faucet in your house, like a basement tap, to drain the remaining water out of the pipes. This depressurizes the system and minimizes the amount of water you'll have to deal with when you start the repair. Never, ever skip this step. It's the difference between a controlled repair and a household flood. With the water off and your tools ready, it's time to get to work. Carefully cut a square opening in the drywall around the suspected leak. Make it large enough so you have plenty of room to see the pipe and work with your hands and tools. I'd say a 12 by 12 inch hole is a good start. As you remove the piece of drywall, be prepared for some water. Use your bucket and rags to manage any drips. Inspect the zinc pipe closely. You're probably looking for a small pinhole leak or a crack, often at a joint or a corroded spot. Once you've found the source, get the pipe surface ready for the patch. The key to a good repair is a clean, dry surface. Use a wire brush or sandpaper to scrub away rust. After you've scrubbed it clean, wipe it down with a dry rag. The pipe must be completely dry for epoxy or tape to stick properly. You can use a hairdryer on a low setting to speed up the drying process, but be patient. If you're using epoxy putty, cut off a piece, knead it until it's a uniform color, and then wrap it firmly over and around the hole. Press it into the pipe, making sure to extend it at least an inch on all sides of the leak. Follow the package instructions for curing time, which is usually just a few minutes. For silicone tape, you'll want to stretch it as you wrap. Start a few inches to one side of the leak and wrap it tightly over itself, overlapping each layer by half.